Good boy. Hey guys, how you doing? Corey and Duke here from Mixing It Up Outdoors off the YouTube channel. Um, just wanted to take a quick break here. I got a couple. Go ahead and get down, bud. Go on. Man, he's shedding like crazy. Oh, excuse me. Oh, nose itches. Wanted to go and touch base on just a couple things here today. I got a few emails from a couple people, and they were in regards to jigging out on Winnebago, jigging bluegills and walleyes and the white bass and stuff like that. And you know, I it started to get me thinking about. It was probably about a month ago, maybe a few weeks ago, whatever it was. I was out on Lake Poigan with my partner for the Team Extreme Ice Fishing Series, and also with my summer tournament partner Larry Redman, and the winter tournament partner is Jeff Paulson. We were sitting in an area we had drilled in. Literally, we were within 10 feet of each other. All three graphs would light up with fish. I was pulling out white bass at a pretty consistent rate. Jeff, he was pulling out, he pulled out a couple walleyes, and then he was pulling out crappies. Larry, he was having trouble even getting a bite. So what I did was I went over by Jeff and I asked him what he was using, and he happened to be using a silver Castmaster. And so I went in my box and I got out 2 silver Castmasters. Okay? Same size, everything. I gave one to Larry. I myself put one on. Started jigging. White bass, white bass, white bass. Larry was over there jigging. Nothing. He's going, what in the hell am I doing wrong? Blah, 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 blah. Jeff pulled another walleye out and more crappies. So I went over by Jeff and I started watching the way he was jigging. And he was jigging totally different than I was. And I went over and watched Larry jig, and he was jigging totally different than I was. So I started using Jeff's jigging technique, okay? And lo and behold, started getting crappies and walleyes also. So I've never really been huge on the whole jigging cadence thing, but it kind of brought me around to it. Like, okay, maybe there's more to this than I've given credit, and I have noticed it now since then. I've been watching it more, and I've been paying attention more, and I've been thinking back to sometimes, when it was like, well, that makes sense now. So I wanted to do a really quick video on this, try to make it as quick as possible at least. Like I said, I got a few emails from some people, and they were asking me about, what's my favorite way to jig walleyes out on Bago. What different techniques do I use, blah blah blah. Is it all about the baits? No, it's not all about the baits. I have a few colors that I stick to. Do I think that those are the best on the lake? No, I don't. It's just the color. Everybody's got their go-to color. Everybody does, and those are mine. So just wanted to run through a couple. I'm going to try to get some examples and put them on this video too. And I'll try to talk through them a little bit. But the first thing I want to talk about is when I'm out on Lake Winnebago or Lake Poigan, fishing walleyes and white bass, okay? My main thing that I like to do is I like to pop the jig, and I usually fish a foot to 2 feet off the bottom. I know a lot of guys like to pop it in the mud or the sand or whatever they're playing on. I like to fish high. In my opinion, a fish is, if they're on bottom, they're coming in and they're gonna see that bait up above, and if they want it, they're gonna go get it. So when I get a fish to come up, I'm popping it. My first jigging technique that I go to is I raise and I shake. I shake my rod tip as fast as I can, and is short, just little wraps. And if I'm fishing a jigging wrap, my objective is to get that jigging wrap to kind of bop, bop, bop really quick. If I'm fishing a spoon or a pimple or whatever it is, my objective is to get that kind of bouncing just a little bit up and down, and then bouncing like that. And then if I'm tipped with waxies or spikes or anything like that, or a plastic, I want to get them kind of fluttering. So that's my first one I do. I'll just pop it, pop, 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 and raise it at the same time. you know, and a lot of times those fish will come up and grab it. Okay, if that doesn't work, I will go down and I will I'll just deadlift, just straight, not shake it, just lift it up real straight, and once in a while, you know, that will cause them fish to come up and grab it also. Um, I'm a firm believer in pissing a fish off. I think that if a fish has a little bit of aggression where they're following baits, you have, if they're not, you know, if they're not hitting but they're following, you still have a good chance of getting that fish. Like I said, I believe you can piss fish off. And I believe what pisses them off is if you're raising a fish up like this, okay, and he's up 3-4 feet even, and you drop that lure back down, if he goes down to that lure and you start bringing it up again, he's going to get pissed eventually. If he sticks around to watch you do that enough, he's going to be pissed off and he's going to eat it. You know, it's kind of one of those, you know, that I've had enough kind of deals and I'm taking it, regardless if I'm hungry or not. So I do believe in that. Another cadence that I do use out there is, you know, I'll pop it, and then stop it. If you're using a jigging Rapala or a, what's the one that they just come out with? Not the dart. The snap wrap, okay? It's the same thing as a jigging Rapala, only it's got a little bit different fin on it. And that, you know, your jigging Rapala will go out and kind of circle. The snap wrap, it's got like a little different, you know, different design to it where it's real snappy. It just pow. So, you know, you pop it and a fish coming in, you want to get that lure over back to your spot in front of the fish. So if you pop it, stop it, it's going to come in and it's still moving. There's still movement there. Give it a second. If he doesn't hit it, pop it again. Sometimes it scares him. Sometimes it pisses him off. You know, so that's another one that I use. Dead sticking on Winnebago, I don't do. As much dead stick as I get is what I was just talking about. The pop, let it sit. You know, just for that second. That's about as much as I go, or as far as I go as far as the dead sticking. So a lot of guys do dead sticking and it works for them. You know, they'll just hang a small frosty or a pimple or even a jigging wrap. You know, they'll hang it over here in a second hole and maybe tip it with a minnow head or waxies or whatever you want to tip it with. And some people get fish on them. I don't, so I don't do it. Trying to think. Bluegills. Bluegills are kind of the same you know, idea generally. You know, I start out with that little shake. You know, if I'm fishing over like a weed bed, say, I'll pop it and try to get them to come out of the weeds. But then I always go to that shake. And I raise it really slow with the bluegills and crappies. You know, just trying to get them to come up and pop. If that doesn't work, the next thing I do, once again, I'll go to just a still lift. I'll jig until they get there, and then I'll just lift it up real slow. A lot of times that's what they want. You know, a lot of times that's what they want. If that doesn't work, I dead stick. I'll actually take my rod and hold it to my body and hold my hand on my rod to keep it, because if you watch, if you can see that tip, right now I'm trying to hold that still. Okay, and see how that's fluttering? If I have a gill pill or a diamond jig on there or anything, a little tungsten jig, it's doing this under the water. It's still moving. If they want it still, they want it still. So a lot of times I'll just go like this with that other hand, steady that rod. It's perfectly still now, you know. So I do that a lot with gills. Don't be afraid to change it up, you know. As far as the Winnebago, what I was talking about, jigging on Winnebago, doing the shake thing and then the lift. I'll have to put his name on the screen here, but his name's Cole, and he does, I can't for some reason think of his last name, but he does a lot of videos on Bago and Poigan and stuff, and that kid has the best, that little shake, that real subtle, you know, that shake jig like that. He has the best jig for that I've ever seen, and it works for him. He will fish the shit out of you. I mean, he catches a lot out there. He does well, you know, and like I said, I attribute it to, you know, a lot of it to his cadence, because if you watch him fish, I fished with him before, you know, and he has outfished me and outfished everybody around him, and everybody's in the general area. It's the same school as fish coming through, you know, and a lot of times he gets more, and I credit that now. I I just do. So check out his YouTube channel. Another good person to watch on the system as far as YouTube videos go are Troy Peterson, Mr. Bluegill. If you don't know who he is, you can find him on Facebook, Mr. Bluegill's Guide Service, or you can find him on YouTube. He does a lot of fishing reports. I try to get in what I can, and I try to put updates on the page as much as I can. And but he is out there every single day during the winter, and he knows what's going on, and he knows how to fish them. I mean, he does. Your hair is all messy, and your face is dirty. You say hi? Say hi to the camera. Look at your face. It's all dirty. You say hi? Wave hi. Munchkin. All right. So like I said, check him out. His YouTube channel. He's another one that he breaks things down for you. He shows you what he's doing. He's not just. He shows you what he's using. He shows you how he's jigging. But definitely check out his YouTube channel. Check out Cole. Another guy that's good to fun to watch is Rick Larson. Rick Larson, he's from across the lake. He does a lot of YouTube videos, and he's got a lot of, once again, he's got a lot of, if you watch what he's doing, it's the thing with this YouTube thing, it's kind of fun because these guys, more and more people are making these videos, and you can watch what they're doing. You can watch how they're jigging. Don't be afraid to change it up. Don't be afraid to change up the way you're jigging. If there's fish coming through and they're not biting, don't just assume that it's dead today and the fishing's going to be shit all day. Don't assume that. Try to change up stuff. Try to presentation. Presentation is what it's about. Try to present your jig or your whatever you're using just a little bit differently next time. If you have fish following that ain't hitting, try something else the next time. The next school that comes through or the next fish that comes up, try a different technique. Don't be afraid to change. And it's my belief that it will make you more successful, So, all right. Until then, I will see you on the next video. I know this weekend we're going to be out pre-fishing, I believe, for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then we have a tournament on Sunday. So hopefully we can get on them. I'm a little worried about it because of the boundaries that we kind of limited on the space to fish, but hopefully we can find a school inside that area. But so yeah, until I get that video out, I'll see you guys then, and be safe, have fun. Hope you guys get them. I'll see you then. Later.